What's up, Jets fans? Welcome to the latest edition of Jets Latest, where you get the latest on the Jets, Jets. I'm your host, the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez, and today we put a light on tonight's game against the New England Patriots. Yes, a short turnaround Thursday night football against the New England Patriots. A New England Patriots team that is absolutely right now scorching hot. Have won 7 in a row. They are 8-2. They are tied for the best record in the entire AFC with teams like Denver, teams like Indianapolis, and really have been coming on under new head coach Mike Vrabel and with Drake May taking a step in his second season. We will talk about that a little bit later on in this episode. But first, I got to remind you, as always, please subscribe to the channel, watch these videos, like these videos, engage in the comments as always, and tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend. And if you want to become a Jets Latest insider, click on that join button there on the bottom and you can get exclusive additional content, all sorts of other perks here as we move on with the 2025 season for the green and white. But let's get into it. Let's start as we usually do on the last episode before a game. I want to start with the injury report. And I think the injury report is interesting because we have a short turnaround which impacts, I think, at least one key player for the New York Jets. So first of all, Garrett Wilson re-injured that knee. You saw him leave the game on Sunday against Cleveland, and they are now saying that he is going to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a knee sprain. It was that same knee that was hyperextended in the London game, so that is an issue to be sure. Remember yesterday, I talked about evaluating these young wide receivers and how I thought that was a trouble with Justin Fields not giving competent quarterback play, right? Well, this is another area where these new receivers will have an opportunity. With Garrett Wilson down, with Josh Reynolds down, right? We are going to see guys like Arian Smith. We're going to see guys like A.D. Mitchell, who I believe will be on the field on Thursday. We're going to see guys like John Mechie, Mason Taylor, the draft pick, get more involved in the passing game. And I think that's really important to see and evaluate what we have ultimately for the future behind Garrett Wilson, who we all know is a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. I mean, he's being paid as such, right? On the defensive side, listen, we're banged up. Harrison Phillips with a toe. Will McDonald coming off his 4-sack game. They were listed as non-participants on the Jets practice reports earlier in the week. And the key Jet that I'm talking about is Azareye'h Thomas. I wanted to see more of Azareye'h Thomas after the Sauce Gardner deal, right? We thought it was going to be Brownlee, Stevens, and Thomas. Well, Thomas got a concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. And with the short week, it is doubtful that he is going to play this week and clear the steps of the protocol. So that is a big time difference. If this game was on Sunday, maybe we would see AZ Thomas, but with it being on Thursday Night Football, I don't think we're going to see the rookie out of Florida State. On the Patriots side, the position to watch is their running back position. Okay, Ramondre Stevenson out with a toe last couple of weeks. Travion Henderson, though, who played well in his absence, he was listed on the practice report. Terrell Jennings, their third stringer, listed on the practice report. And also their wide receiver, Kayshon Boutte, is down, I believe, with a hamstring injury. He missed at least last week's game. So we shall see about that. That's who will probably be available and up here for Thursday night. Here's what I want to talk about, though. Listen, last week I talked about how the Jets' run game would face a tough test in the Cleveland Browns, and they did. Cleveland was one of the better run defenses in the league, but the Jets still ran for about 120, 130 yards. Breece Hall still ran for about 80-plus yards and looked good. Remember the 41-yard screen pass for a touchdown. Well, the assignment gets even tougher this week on a short week against the divisional opponent, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are a very good run defense, okay? The run defense is one of the best in the league, quite frankly. They have yet to allow a 55-yard rusher. They hadn't allowed a 50-yard rusher against them until last week against Tampa, okay? No running back has gone for 55 yards against them. And look at them in all these other run defensive categories. It's under 80 yards per game, best in the NFL. Top 5 in yards per carry, yards after contact. That means they tackle and wrap up. They don't allow people to break tackles against them. The avoided tackles, third fewest in the NFL. And here's the deal. It's a test for them as well because our run game has continued to look good. I've been saying this is the lead punch of the Jets offense. This is the vision of Aaron Glenn, right? Have a good offensive line that can move the line of scrimmage, have multiple running backs that can attack them, and with the dual threat ability of Justin Fields as well, right? So this is what I think is going to be the kind of unstoppable force versus immovable object because, listen, the Jets, 4th in the NFL rushing yards per game, top 3 in yards per carry, the most yards before contact. That's really indicative of the offensive line being able to move them, and they get big plays in the run game. You see those explosive carries are top 3 in the NFL as well. And here's the thing. They're not getting anything in the passing game. So they need the run game to, like I've been saying all season, stay on schedule, okay? Because if not, you put Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, the passing game, in obvious passing situations without Garrett Wilson, and it can be a problem, okay? We ran for about 130 yards against Cleveland, but it was only 3.8 yards a carry. All right, so now when you see that New England, again, you see it here, they only allow 3.8 yards a carry, it's going to be harder to stay on schedule. But that is the key when we are on offense. When we are on defense, the key is we've got to find a way to stop Drake May. Drake May, the second-year quarterback out of North Carolina, is the Patriots franchise quarterback, and he has taken a big step forward in his sophomore campaign. Part of the reason the Patriots are 8-2, part of the reason the Patriots are the division leaders instead of the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Drake May has been awesome. He's actually, check this out, the first player in NFL history to, in the first 10 games of a season, have 2,500 passing yards, a better than 70% completion rate, 250 rushing yards, so a little bit of a dual threat, and 5 or fewer interceptions. First player in NFL history to do that. He's third in the league in passing touchdowns. He's second in the league in completion percentage, 71.7% completion percentage. Part of why we need A.Z. Thomas and Brownlee to have a bounce back game, and Stevens to be able to cover. Okay, and also, it's not just safe stuff. All right, his completions on throws that are 20 plus yards down the field are second in the NFL. So they are throwing the ball downfield, and May is able to retain this kind of completion percentage. So Drake May has been absolutely phenomenal. He is on the ascent, and that is part of why the New England Patriots are a very dangerous team, not only tonight against the Jets, but long term here for this year and beyond with the youth of Drake May. They've got the coach and the quarterback right in Vrabel and May. What did I say at the end of this year? I wanted to know if we had the coach and the quarterback. I still think we have the coach. The quarterback, not so much. But listen, the Patriots are hot. They've won 7 in a row. And right now, Drake May, this sounds crazy when you would have said it at the beginning of the season. Drake May right now is the co-favorite to win the MVP award in the NFL. So that is kind of speaking also to how great May has been. This defense is going to have to try to stifle May on a short week, banged up without potentially A.Z. Thomas. Harrison Phillips banged up, and Will McDonald off his 4-sack game banged up. And hopefully this is an opportunity for some of these wide receivers who I think are going to be critical to evaluate. One of the biggest things to evaluate in this back half of the season, we know we have Garrett Wilson. We know we have a run game. We know we have a defense. We know we don't necessarily have a quarterback. I want to see what we have at wide receiver beyond Garrett Wilson. A.D. Mitchell, John Mitchie, Arian Smith, and Mason Taylor as a tight end. I want to see what we have in this passing game. And with Garrett Wilson down for the next couple of weeks, we have an opportunity to do that. That is what you need to look for when the Jets take on the absolutely scorching 7 wins in a row New England Patriots on Thursday Night Football. But let's see what some of you Jets' latest regulars have to say. We got Chris Garcia saying, JF is not the problem. Why not mention the rookie OC? It shows he doesn't use JF effectively many times. I mean, I think there's something to be said for that. I've been talking about here on Jets' latest, more screen passes, more play action, more design quarterback runs. But, I mean, while Tanner Angstrand is a rookie OC, he did a lot of good stuff in Detroit with Ben Johnson. A lot of people credited him, and he's had a lot of good stuff developing the tight ends, guys like Hawkinson, guys like Laporta. So, I mean, I think it's okay to kind of say that blame can go everywhere because it can, with this passing offense being the worst in the NFL. But I think we've seen what we need to see out of Justin Fields. Jason Bentley, 1510, says wide receiver 2 matters because the quarterback might have more than one target. 6 of 11 is all right. You act like you should have had 200 yards. Listen, Jason, 6 of 11 is not okay. That is a putrid passing offense. 200 yards would be a lot more than what we're doing. 200 yards is not a high mark in the NFL right now anyway, in this passing league. We need to have more than 6 completions, okay? We need to be more than completely one-dimensional on offense so that defenses can respect some kind of passing threat. So I don't know if I agree with that one. And then Ron P, 5022, says, I can't wait for the Pets to kick our ass. We got lucky against against the Bengals and the Browns, they went into tank mode. Pat's got something to play for. He goes 45-3 Patriots win. Slap the Lulu fans back to reality. Book it. I mean, New England is, I think, a 12-point favorite in this game. So it is a tough task to be sure. It always is if you're going to be on the road, on the short week on Thursday Night Football. We are struggling in many ways. Let's see if we can put our foot forward, and at least in a true divisional game sense, make it close, be scrappy, show what we are building here after 2 straight wins against AFC North teams. But Drake May's been playing really, really good, and they have a really good run defense. So we shall see. That's what you Jets' latest regulars have to say. You've heard what I have to say, but if you want to hear more from me, spitting statistician Dane Martinez, remember, I'm the host of the FTN Fantasy Show on SiriusXM, trying to get you hopefully ready for a fantasy football playoff push, even if the Jets are not making a playoff push. And I'm always here to help you win your leagues and win that cash. Remember, subscribe to the channel, like these videos, become a Jets latest insider, tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend. Thank you so much for everyone who's really helped grow the channel. We will be back tomorrow talking about what happened on Thursday Night Football and getting us ready moving forward here for the Jets, Jets. But for this episode of Jets Latest, we out of here. Peace.